So, guys, it's been just under a week since I started testing Windows 11. I won't really go into much at the it's pretty sort of saying. I'm going to go into a little bit here at the moment. Okay, first impressions. When you're first going into Windows 11, might have said 10 there before, I apologise. The first thing we see is it appearing like this. Now, it's just going to confuse people. It's going to absolutely confuse the shit out of people. It really is. When traditionally, apart from one exception, the start button is over here. And that just makes sense. That's where it's always been. That's where people are used to it. That's where it should be. Why move it there? Maybe they're trying to capture the Apple Mac people. Who knows? Now, if you just move it across, you can move it to left. Left looks like the only place you can move it, which is a bit of a pain. You can't drag it anywhere here. You right-click on the task bar, and you've only got one option. Unlike Windows 10, where we've got, just wait for my Windows 10 machine to boot back up. But with Windows 10, if you've ever used Windows 10, you've got a hell of a lot of options under there. So you've got the traditional settings under there, apart from Windows Terminal. Again, a Linux Mac reference. So, I mean, I know as an IT professional, I use down here quite a lot to go into certain things. So I'll right click and I'll go Task Manager and I'll go arrange things and things like that, and there won't be a problem there. But it's just not there anymore, which is a bit of a nightmare. The actual look and feel of Windows 11 is quite nice, I guess. I mean, they've flattened a few of the options out. The only big issue that I've actually had, software-wise, is using my capture software. It just keeps on crashing. Same with VirtualBox. I've had a lot of issues trying to get VirtualBox to work properly. It just crashes all over the place. So I'm going to try to load up VirtualBox again. Other traditional programs like Microsoft Office, Photoshop, GIMP, things like that seem to work just fine. I'm using Firefox on here, as well as Google Chrome, and they're working without a problem. Some things just feel a bit sluggish, like it's just not ready to be used yet. For your prime example, the Windows Terminal. So there we go, I just saw Task Manager under there. So they've moved a few of these settings from your taskbar to there to over underneath the start button, which, okay, Microsoft, why move something if it doesn't need to be moved? People know where that stuff is. Let's go to the control panel. Control panel is still there. It just looks a bit different. One nice thing I did find, like I've got a couple of network adapters in here, so my DisplayPort and things like that, you can actually rename your adapters. So you'll see mine says DisplayPort. I think you could do that in Windows 10 anyway by going down to rename. So that was a nicety. But all in all, I really can't see any massive advantage of changing over to Windows 11 just yet. Let's just see when end of life Windows 10 is. Beginning with Windows 7. How long will Windows 10 be? I mean, Windows 10 gets retired in 3 years. So, I mean, Microsoft has got a lot of time to get Windows 11 right. Get rid of those bugs. I mean, let's face it, when Windows 10 first came out, people were reluctant to go over, and I still know a lot of people that are on Windows 7, a lot of my clients. It is more susceptible for malware attacks and viruses, but people like it, and I don't blame them. It was one of my favourite operating systems. Now, I will be going back to Windows 10, so to do that, simply reset this PC and go back to the previous version. Now, looks like my virtual machine is now behaving itself under Windows 10, Windows 11. So I'll bring it across and just show you a couple of things I noticed. Yeah, still don't get over that. Again, why call it Windows Terminal? PowerShell was still underneath there, so is Command Prompt. So if I bring Windows 10 just across here, it just feels nicer underneath there. You've got all your options under here. You've got your Task Manager there as well. But if I actually go under here and click, and you've got a lot of options under here. You've got your toolbar, you've got your search, you've got show people in tasks, names and interests, show the touchpad, show the desktop task manager, taskbar settings, a lot of different things. And you go into taskbar settings under Windows 10, mine's not active, this is a virtual machine, but you can lock the toolbar, you can make the button smaller, you can make it bigger, you can drag it around your screen. I mean, you can do so much with it compared to what you can do with Windows 7. Windows 11, sorry. And I mean, Windows 10 to me just feels a bit nicer. But that's just personal preference. As an IT professional right now, I just feel that Windows 11 hasn't got enough updates. And is not quite ready. I live